Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Funjelah. It's me and Danielle. We don't know what we're going to talk about this episode. It's going to be a surprise to you and us. Hey, I'm not on tour anymore. Tour is done, so you can't get tickets to that. But what you can do is subscribe to all things Funjelah, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Go ahead and follow us. Leave us some comments. Call us. Leave us a voicemail. Tell us what you're grateful for, what you're mad about. Or if you have a question, you need some advice in your life, you could ask us that too. Danielle will give you all that information.
Yes. Okay. So give us a call at 747-300-5380. You can also text that number. And then you can email us at funjelahpodcast@gmail.com. And then when you go to Anjelah's website to buy some merch, we still got merch. You can also fill out a form there and email us.
We still have merch.
As well. We do have merch. Also, I meant to say this before we got started, but this episode does drop the day after your special trailer drops.
Oh, okay.
So we can talk about it. And then if for
good.
some reason we move the date, we'll cut this out.
Okay. We've been keeping it under wraps, you guys. But now the word is out. My 7th 1 hour special is called Ugly Baby. And it premieres on Mother's Day, May 10th. So it's coming up. Make your plans to watch my new special with your friends, with your family. Pull it up on all your phones. Pull it up on the TV. Get all the devices going on YouTube, and everybody watch my new special called Ugly Baby on YouTube. Can't wait for you guys to see it. Very excited about that.
It's so exciting.
That's more of like a gratitude. We got to do our MADtitudes first.
Right. Okay.
Then we'll get into gratitude. Because I have a MADtitude right out the gate, ready to go. It's like, ready. My MADtitude is UTIs. I was debating. I'm like, do I want to give all this personal information? But it's on my nerves right now. I don't know why I am susceptible to UTIs. Like, I know people who have never had a UTI, and I'm like UTI subscriber over here. I'm like, I should get a frequent flyer number for UTIs. I should get like some sort of point system should be racked up for my UTIs. I don't know why.
I'm
a very hygienic person. It's not that. I'm very hygienic.
I'm no doctor, but I have heard rumblings that sometimes people are just predisposed. That word.
Hold on. People are texting me. Stand by.
I was like, I feel like I hear a phone dinging. Put it on do not disturb. But I did hear, because there is someone that I know, and I'm not going to say who, I'm not trying to put no, someone else in my life also gets them often, gets them a lot of times. And I've never gotten them. And I've never had one. And so.
But you get kidney stones. That's your vice.
Sure. So, and that is also genetic. So I think there's some genetics behind it. And and that's my favorite thing to do. If anything I constantly deal with medically, I just go, my genes, man, I can't. I was born this way. So
can't do anything about it. Maybe it's genetics, but that is my MADtitude. Just UTIs are pissing me off.
Sure.
What's your MADtitude these days?
Okay. My MADtitude these days recently is, this is so silly, but the cost of furniture is really bothering me. I have an impending move, right? And I'm in the process of, what do I sell? Also the cost of moving is just astronomical, and I think it's way overpriced. This also made me mad. I went and price checked the difference between a U-Haul U-Box and a pod. Those are both specific brands. We're calling out brands today, okay? And I am gonna go with the U box. It is the most cost effective in my opinion. These 2 things, by the way, are essentially the same thing. It's just a giant box that you fill your stuff with and you go, "Hey, take it here. Thank you so much.
Here's
my
the address.
here's my entire life savings." And I went to quote pods, and first of all, I was giving the guy I said, "Hey, can you just give me an estimate, LA to Nashville ballpark number for one box?" And he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna need some more information." And I thought, "I don't think you do, actually. I think you can give me a ballpark number." And so I give him more information that he surely does not need. And
Uh-huh.
then he said, "Okay, in what time frame?" And I said, "I don't know, just however long it takes. Probably around this time. Just I'm willing to box it all up, and then you say, 'Oh, it's gonna take a week.' Alright, I trust you. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe you." And he was taking forever, and I finally also I wish I had the screenshot. I need to pull up the chat of when I was like, "Adam," whatever his name is. I said, "Just give me a number." And he goes, "1." And I thought, "Oh, you got me there." You I was like, "You're playing the game, but for real, Adam, what's the number?" And he
That
quotes
that
me
makes me wanna why you
I was
order.
like, "My guy, surely it does not take this." He was like, "Well, we take a lot of care and practice." And I said, "Please just guess." He quoted me $6,000. And I said, The value of everything I'm putting in this box doesn't even touch $2,000." And I was like, "And you want me to spend 6 grand to move a
No
couch that
way.
I bought off a buddy for $300
No way.
and rented the U-Haul myself to bring it into my own apartment? You're out of
No
your
way.
mind." I was like
I'm about to load it up and drive it in a U-Haul truck.
"Every piece of furniture in here is from IKEA, Wayfair, or Facebook Marketplace. Nothing in here was that expensive."
What it was the other cheaper one?
Oh, it's 1,500 for U-Haul. I even told that
Sure.
I said, "Sir," I go, "Who's picking you? Who's choosing
Who's
you
picking you?
over U-Haul? They're so much cheaper." And
Who's
by the
picking
way,
you?
I didn't have to chat with anybody. U-Haul, I just said, "LA, Nashville, 1 box,"
Yeah.
and they go, 1,500 probably. Like, that's literally what
Yeah.
I said. I was like,
Done. That's all we needed.
"Done. Took me 2 seconds. What are we doing pods?
Yeah.
Okay, unless wanna help a girl out, I thank you so much for your time. Goodbye. See
Yeah.
you never."
Bye.
Yeah, so naturally, though, because that is still pretty pricey to move furniture, I'm like, "Okay, this is all cheap furniture, like, is it worth it?" Mostly that box is to move all my more personal items, my KitchenAid, all right? That's my big money item right there. So, I'm like, that's what my records, my record player, like, that's the kinda stuff where I'm like, "This is stuff I don't wanna get rid of."
Yeah.
And I don't wanna drive it across the country myself in a U-Haul. My dad and I have plans. Okay, we're stopping at the Grand Canyon. I don't wanna bring a U-Haul in there. So, I don't know, it's just I'm, like, looking at it, and I'll find something I really like, and then again, I'm like, $600 for a dresser? Forget it. Forget it. You're out of your mind. I don't even have $600 worth of clothing to put in it. It's just it seems insane, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm living a fantasy world, and this is just
Oh, you're living in the 90s.
but I don't know. I was so everything in my apartment, I have that's the thing too, I have to remind myself, everything in this apartment, I have slowly collected over time. When I first moved in, I had a coffee table and a lawn chair.
Mhm.
Now I have a two-bedroom apartment full of stuff.
Mhm.
Too much stuff, I would argue. Some of this stuff I pulled out a pair of shoes from under my bed the other day covered in dust, and I thought I'd already donated these, and they've been under my bed this whole time.
I just went
So
through my closet, um,
oh, yeah, I see Manny
and
posting.
oh, yeah, well, he's always going through his stuff, but I just did what happened was, in our closet, the shelves go up so high, and I can't reach the top. So, I even got a little stool, and the stool, I still can't reach the very top. So I went on Amazon, and I bought me a three-step ladder. And I finally last night it came in yesterday. Last night, I went into my closet, pulled out my three-step ladder, got all the way to the top so I could put some of my, like, winter boots that I know I'm not gonna be wearing up there and, like, you know, just do some reorganizing.
Mhm.
Why, when I got up there, I found some stuff left behind from the previous owners of this house.
Okay,
There's a
treasures. Okay, antique
there's
shop?
a picture frame of Lipscomb University.
Oh,
Um, I think I think the guy coached there maybe or something.
so
Uh,
okay.
yeah, and a dirty sock.
Ew.
A dirty sock on a picture frame on the very top, and I was like,
Hmm.
"What? How is this up here?" Um,
I'm surprised Manny hadn't been up there yet.
well, because he can't even reach that up there. Like, he could probably go like this and feel the top, but he can't see up there. So I finally got a ladder, and now I can see up there.
Did you
And I only checked that one area where I was putting stuff. I didn't even check everything else. There could be other stuff up there. Who knows?
what if there's money, treasures, gold
What if there is
jewelry?
some, like, real treasure? Or what if that Lipscomb University
There's
picture
a
that I threw away, what if it was, like, an actual antique, like,
mhm,
one of
mhm.
the from when Lipscomb University just became Lipscomb University, and this
Yeah.
was their only poster that they gave out,
Mhm.
and I had it, and I threw it away.
What if there's a map to treasure on the back of that,
Oh,
and you do a little
the
national
Lipscomb
treasure.
University treasure, I've heard a lot about that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mhm. It could
I've
be
heard
yours.
that. I saw that on TikTok.
Mhm. So did you
No.
did you clean it, or are you gonna I know how you are about germs, or d is Manny gonna clean
No,
it?
I just put my boots up there. I'm not going up there. I'm not laying there. I'm not touching it. It's just boots. And we're a shoes off house. So
True.
there's that. I'm not gonna be walking through the house with the shoes. I don't understand people who are not a shoes off house. I think you're not a shoes off house, right?
I am now. I did not grow up that way, because when my parents were in town recently, I kept yelling at them to take their shoes off, especially on my
Uh-huh.
rug. I was like, "You're
Uh-huh.
messing up my rug. Take your shoes off my rug." But they
Uh-huh.
are people that wake up, and when they get dressed, shoes
Head
are
to toe.
tied, and we're ready to
Shoes are tied to
tie.
go to the bathroom for your morning pee.
Exactly,
Um, I
exactly.
didn't grow up a shoes off house either. It's just in my adult years that I've become that as I've learned about germs and stuff. But now I'm just like, when I go into other people's house, I take my shoes off. And when they're like, "Oh no, you don't have to take your shoes off," I feel so weird walking through people's houses with shoes on. And I'm like, okay, well, if you want it to happen, we'll do it.
Okay, I would like to and I love this, because I would love to know other people's opinions on this as well.
Okay.
I I'm a barefoot person. I will say I am not necessarily a shoes off because of germs. I like to be barefoot. I'm a barefoot lady. I have slippers, but my feet get hot. I go
What's your
back and
artist
forth.
name if you ever do music? Barefoot Lady.
Barefoot lady. Not to be confused with the bare naked ladies.
Yeah.
And I truly only care about shoes on my rug, because my old rug got ruined because of people's shoes. And
Mhm.
so the rest of my apartment is just linoleum. That was a struggle. Linoleum
Uh-huh.
and really
Lanolin?
lanolin
Lanolin?
and really old carpet in my bedrooms that are stained that I'm like, "Whatever, I don't really care." And so really, it's just my rug. I go, "You can have shoes on in the kitchen, but take your shoes off on my rug."
So
And
you don't care about pee and poo particles from the public restroom getting all over your kitchen floor?
I never think about it. I never think about it. It builds
In
immunity,
your
alright?
bedroom?
It
Oh
builds
my god.
immunity. I'm never sick. You're welcome.
In your bathroom, you just got
So,
out of the shower and you put your feet down on
you're
the
clean.
ground where pee and poo particles from the airport bathroom are.
There's a rug. It's fine. The rug collects it. So but okay, wait,
Not the
okay,
rug collects
so
it.
here was my question. Here's my question for you and the rest of the world. If I go into a house and someone says, "Hey, we're shoes off." Absolutely, my shoes are off. I am not naturally inclined to take my shoes off, because I am also someone where I'm like, "Ew, your bare toes are touching my floor." Like, I'm worried about, like, toe fungus. I'm more thinking about other people's feet. I'm thinking the shoe is protecting me from your feet. Even though I am a barefoot person in my household,
Most
I would
people wear socks, like, maybe they took their sandals off. I'm trying to remember, like,
Mhm.
bare feet. Um,
Yeah.
and my friends that have come over, I'm like, "I have slippers. You wanna use my slippers?"
Mhm.
Or I gave a pair of socks too. A friend came by recently and was taking her shoes off, and she was like, "I don't have any socks. Do you have socks?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I gave her a pair of my
Mhm.
socks to use. Um,
I think I have to wait for someone to be like, "Hey, wear shoes
What
on."
about in the hotels?
What do you mean
Barefoot
about the
people walk barefoot in the hotels, and they're not cleaning them carpets. That's, like,
mm,
thousands of feet, dead skin cells on that carpet. You don't get grossed out
or
in hotel rooms?
I take my shoes off as soon as I enter the hotel room, but
I know, but, like
I won't walk in, like, the public area, mostly just because I'm like, "I'm in public. That's rude to have your
uh-huh.
bare feet out in the
No, I'm talking about in the
hallway."
hotel room. I walk with
Yeah.
my socks on in the hotel room.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. No, I'll go
Mhm.
barefoot in the hotel room.
Yeah. There's sometimes I'll go barefoot, but I'm, like, grossed out while I'm doing it, and I'm like,
Mm,
"Ugh, I need to put my socks on because I don't want thousands of foot skin cells on my foot skin cells."
and I just think that shows that brains can be wired so differently
Oh,
because I
let me
never
throw
think
another
about.
attitude out there.
Okay, go ahead.
My hotel room this past weekend.
Agree, I'm with you. I'm that was insane. Go on, continue.
Everybody, when I tell you, okay, we we're in just country, West Virginia, okay? We're in this hotel. They put me in a suite because 'cause I'm the headliner, right? So I come in a suite, and, it looks made up. The room looks made up. The bed is made how they typically make their beds. There's that little card on it that's like, "Hey, housekeeping was here," that whole thing. And so I laid down on the bed, I'm on the phone talking to a friend, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to start getting ready for the show." So I get up, I grab my toiletries, I go to the bathroom, and I look in the mirror, and this is how I found out. I was about to stick my little, my Octo Buddy, the little sticky thing on your phone. I was about to stick it to the mirror, and right as I was about to stick it, I saw spitty bits from the previous person who was brushing their teeth all over the mirror, and I was like, "Oh, hello? Um, that's gross." So then that made me look down into the sink and I could see food particles from the person who brushed their teeth previously. Food particles were in the sink. And I was like, there's no way. It was a his and her sink. Or his and or hers and hers, wherever you are.
A theys
Um
and thems.
there was a theys and them sinks. And I looked in the other sink, food particles. I was dying. And I'm like, no way. Then I was like, "Well, if they didn't clean the sinks, let me go check the shower." There was a leftover bar of soap in the shower from the previous person. I couldn't believe it. I said, "Okay, if they didn't clean the shower, let me pull all these blankets back and look at these sheets." So I pull all the blankets back. You know how when you come into a brand new hotel room, they put them sheets crisp. They're like tight on that bed. Nah, they was all loosey goosey, messy, lived in sheets. I said, nope, that's not happening. I called down. I said, y'all need to send somebody up here, come clean this room. And I explained everything that I saw. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry. We'll send somebody. Actually, she sounded annoyed when I first called. Um, and then when I called a second time, because I was like, "Hey, when are they gonna come?" Then she was like, "Oh, so sorry, we're sending them up right now." And I said, I'm gonna go get ready in Danielle's room." So I called Danielle. I was like, "Can I just come get ready in your room?" So I go to Danielle's room. I get ready in her room. Then we leave to the show. I check my room. I see there's a housekeeping cart there, so somebody's cleaning my room. I'm like, "All right, they got it." We leave to the show. I get back. Now it's like approaching midnight. Go back into my room. They remade the bed, so I was like, "Okay, they were in here because the bed is remade." I pulled the blankets back just to make sure the sheets were nice and tight. I was like, "Okay, these are hopefully new sheets. They didn't just remake this bed." I go to the bathroom. Spitty bits still on the mirror. They wiped one of the sinks, got all the food out. The other one still had a couple food particles left in the sink, and the soap was still in the shower. I said, "You gotta be kidding me. What in the world?" So I call down again at midnight. I'm trying to go to bed. We gotta be up in the car, 5 a.m., headed back to the airport. I'm like, "I gotta go to bed, please." So they send housekeeping back up. He went in the shower, and he just grabbed the bar of soap off and replaced it with like, the soap that you pump and come out, and he just put it up there. He didn't even wipe it down, wash it, nothing. There's still the little square of soap residue on there, and then somebody else's, like, pink shaving cream that spilled out or something was still on there, and he Windexed the mirror, and that was it. I said, "I'm not taking a shower. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little hose bath right here in the sink and wait till I get home to shower." And that was my hotel room, and that's my attitude. Thank
I
you
know
for your attention to this matter.
when you were texting us the updates late at night, I was waiting. I was like, "She's gonna call me, and she's gonna wanna come sleep in this room." Like,
I went I almost
kept
did, I
waiting.
almost did. I
Mhm.
almost did. I really did, because I knew Danielle had 2 beds in her room. First of all, I didn't know you had 2 beds in your room. When I went to get ready in your room and I saw the 2 beds, clocked it, and I said, "Okay, cool. I have a backup plan. Great."
Save that for later.
Then, when I came back to the room and I saw how things were not up to par, I was like, "Looks like we gonna be roomies. We gonna go ahead and just take a nap right next to each other because we gotta be up in a few hours." But my bed was okay. I'm like, "Whatever, I'm just going to sleep." So,
Yeah.
that's my attitude of the
Yeah, at that
weekend.
point, we did. We had a turnaround time of, like, 4 hours, so I just was like, "Girl, wash your pits and take a nap. Well, let's skedaddle on out of West Virginia as soon as we can. Let's just get on up out of here, okay?"
Ugh. But moving into gratitude now, I will say that was the last weekend of tour. It was the last show of tour, and it was such a good show to end on. The crowd was so good. They were so fun. Mal and I did some Funjelah attitude gratitudes. Um, some shows we've done it, some shows we didn't. We started doing the attitude and gratitudes with the audience in the second half of tour. I wish I thought of this idea in the first half of tour. That would have been amazing to have done attitudes and gratitudes all throughout Texas. That would have been so fun. Um, for the whole beginning of the tour, but the attitude gratitude didn't pop into my brain until later on, and I was like, "Dang it." Anyway, so even in the second half of the tour, sometimes we wouldn't do it for time. Sometimes we didn't have submissions, whatever it was. But when we did do it, it was so fun. And this last weekend, we had a really good time doing our attitudes and gratitudes with the audience. It was super fun. Um, and it was just a really great last weekend, I think. And we were a little concerned about it because the travel was going to be a doozy. It was a lot of connecting flights. It was, oh my God,
I was
tell
like,
them
"We
our
did
other attitude. Tell them
we
our
did."
other attitude about the flight. Oh my God.
Yes. So, this really truly was the trickiest travel out of the entire year because we were going to 2 really small towns, and the first one was Biloxi, and there was, like, "Here's your 2 flight options into Biloxi." Like,
Uh-huh.
that's really all there was, and
Yep.
so I picked the one that got us in early. We were supposed to land at 2:30, layover in Dallas, and this was fun because me and Alex and I, ugh, were coming from Los Angeles and just coming from Nashville, Mal's coming from San Diego, and we all meet up in DFW to get on the same flight. I don't know, I just love when that happens. What a fun little
Cuties.
cutie moment. As I'm at the airport, and our layover again, like, our original flight's supposed to land in Biloxi at 2:30. I get to the airport and I am trying to I figure what I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was looking at my seat or something, and I was making sure both tickets were in my wallet, and I scroll and I see our second flight, and it says landing at 7 PM, and I thought, "Landing at 7 PM?
And the
Hold
venue
on."
called you and said, "We
Oh,
can't find
yes.
your
Oh,
flight."
yeah, that's what it was. The venue had emailed me, and because they were planning our transport, and they were like, "Hey, we can't track your flight. Your flight's not showing up." And I thought, "That's so weird. Let me." And at first I thought it was a typo because I look up the flight number, but the typo was, like, really off. It was, like, 9475, and I thought, "That's a crazy typo. I would never that's insane for me." So that's when I noticed the time change, and I thought, "Oh my word, when did our flight change?" And the number's here, so I go up to the desk and I go, "Hey," I go, "Was this flight delayed? But the number is really off. I'm very confused by this." And so she looks up the original flight. I show her my confirmation with the original flight landing at 2:30, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, "That flight doesn't exist." And I thought, "It sure did. It sure did exist because I booked it and here is the receipt." And
For 4
she kept
people.
for 4 people, and she kept checking. She goes, "No, that flight never existed." And I was like, "Oh, what is happening?" I was like, "This is gaslighting. I know. This is what's happening. This is what that is."
I've
And
been gaslit by an airline.
I was like, "What is going on, American Airlines?" And she kept looking and she
And
kept
that's what it
looking.
is. It's American Airlines, but
It's American
continue.
Airlines. We're calling them out. And she goes, "Oh, yes, that flight was available a few months ago, but it's been canceled, so they just put you on this other flight," which, come to find out, is the only flight that day from Dallas to Biloxi. And I thought, "When was this canceled?" I go, "I never got an email. I never got notification about this."
Mm,
And I'm so mad because I checked in the night before, but I just didn't notice it.
right.
I kept looking at my
Yeah.
first flight going, "Alright, I gotta be at the airport at this time."
Uh-huh.
And, by the way, our flight is boarding in, like, 10 minutes, and I was like, "Is there anything? Is there anything else? Like, we have to be there before then." And she just
So
was like, "No."
Danielle's texting us at this point.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
about to board her flight in 10 minutes. I just got through security and I'm like, "Wait, what do
I
you
think
mean?"
Mal's already on his flight or something.
Yeah, we're like, "What are you talking about?" And our flight is canceled and they're now our sound check is at 6 PM.
Yes,
Our flight now lands at 7:08 PM.
correct.
Show starts at 8 PM.
Doors at 6:30.
Um, so we get to the airport, on our layover, and I have, like, 4 or 5 hours layover. I don't remember the last time I had that long of a
Mhm.
layover on a travel. And, so Mal and I went and got massages at the airport, spa. We went and got massages, and then we had a whole list of TikToks that we were gonna
Right.
do on our 4 or 5-hour layover. We did 0.
We did absolutely none of those.
We forgot to do TikToks,
I even,
and
like,
then
was proud. I even, like, was texting social team. I was like, "Get ready. We're about to have so much
oh my god, we're gonna have so
content.
many TikToks for you. We have 5-hour layover.
Whatever.
Watch this."
Boom, boom, boom." Nope.
No, all we did was talk, go eat Wendy's.
Did you eat Wendy's?
I don't
I
remember the last time I had Wendy's.
I applied for an apartment.
Danielle's applying for an apartment to live in, like, stressing out over there. Mal's just practicing his golf swing. Like, what were we doing for 5 hours? I don't know.
Dilly-dallying. We are
Dilly-dallying.
the
Then
kings and queens of dilly-dally.
we finally land in Biloxi, Mississippi, and then it's go time, and then we're in the car, we get there, we're getting ready. Danielle had to do our sound check during her announcement of, "Hey, everybody, if you wanna win a meet and greet, hey, can you turn the monitor up? Thank you. Hey, everybody. Hello. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. Hey."
I was like, "Wow, those spotlights are really bright. What if we turned those down a little bit?" Which
Yeah, so
they
Danielle's
didn't,
doing
by the way.
our sound check, our light check, our everything check during her announcement. And I had a guy there to do my hair, Drew. He's gonna do my hair. I'm so glad he was there. So I just jumped into the chair and he started doing my hair and then walked right on stage
I
wearing my airplane outfit.
I do wanna chime in too and say a little gratitude for that whole venue and their tech team
So
because
good.
they had it. They had it all figured out. There are so many places where we go to and they're like, "You sent links?" And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
what do you
You
mean?"
sent directions
Yeah,
on
and I'm
how
like,
this
"Yeah."
works?
And they had it all. They had it all set up. They were
They were great.
so accommodating and they were so just like, "Yeah, what do you need? We're
And
on
they
it."
were chill.
They were
They were
so
chill
chill.
because well, I remember typically they'd probably be, like, stressed any other venue, and I got there, I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and the lady's like, "We're good. You're here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We only started 10 minutes late, and honestly, that was truly because the audience was late as well.
Yeah.
That was and, my merch seller even I had the POS system, and so she still sold merch, just old school, cash only, not
Mm.
plugging
Nice.
in anything, just and she also just, like, jumped into action, and then when I got there to give her the iPad and the card reader, naturally, it said, "We need to update. We'll take 15 minutes," and I
Yeah.
thought, "Sick. What a perfect time to do this." But she just, like
Oh,
I handed
man.
it to her, I was like, "Do you know what venue?" She's like, "Yep, got it, boop, 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 boop." And I thought, "Ugh," and her name was Barbara, and I was like, "Babs, you're crushing it. Thank you so much."
Babs. Let's go,
Um,
Babs.
so it truly was a worst case scenario, but then it was the best case scenario venue for that
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So now my attitude truly is just American Airlines' response to my complaint about not getting proper notice.
A lot of time and people don't know what's happening behind the scenes when
No idea.
your artist walks out on stage for whatever concert you're going to. We have no idea what was happening behind the scenes. Their flights were canceled, their whatever injury, whatever. We have no idea all of these things. So, here's just a little BTS of what happens on the road sometimes. But it was a great, great last weekend. I'm very grateful for that, for the end of tour. Like, torn, because
But
we get in a system, we get in a groove, we get in a, "Yep, we're on tour, we're grooving, we're moving," and then it comes to a halt. So there's a little bit of emotions in tour ending, with my team. Like, I'm sad that I won't be seeing my team every weekend. I love hanging out with my team, like, it's so fun, so I'm sad about that. Um but I am excited about taking a break and, living life and hanging out with Rosie, getting her into, like, some dance classes and stuff like that. Like, I am excited about just being home for a little bit and doing regular degular things, home things. Like, I am excited about that. I have another gratitude. My mom has moved to Nashville. So my mom lives here now. She just moved here and got here this past weekend. She got here on Thursday and I flew out Friday. That's how that worked. But I'm very excited for her being here, and we already are throwing her into childcare duties immediately because I'm flying out again. That's another thing too. When I talk about tours done, I'm still traveling for like other random things. Like I have a charity event that I'm flying to tomorrow morning. I have a one-day trip to Alabama the next week. Like, I'm still traveling and doing stuff, but it's just not, like, on tour. Anyway, so I'm leaving, and then Manny had a last-minute flight that he had to take, and so I was like, "Well, mom, can you just stay here and help with Rosie?" And so my mom and my stepdad are gonna be here to help out with Rosie while we're gone, and I was like, "Look at that, 1 week in, you're already in the rotation. You're already in the childcare rotation, mom." Um,
I mean,
so I'm
that's why she
grateful that my
moved,
mom's
right?
yeah, she
For the
moved
most
here to
part.
be closer to Rosie and just, the sunset years, new adventure, that's what they call it, the sunset years.
Oh, I've never heard it.
Um,
I've never heard that
yeah,
term
like in
before.
your 3rd quarter or whatever, starts the sunset years, I guess.
Alright.
Not to be confused with, like, sundowners, that's, like,
Sundowns, I
where
was like, "That I know what that is, that's
yeah,
different." Sundowners. That's
that's,
more
like,
of like a
dementia,
yeah,
Alzheimer's, something where
yeah,
the sun goes down and then you start
or
losing it.
mhm.
Not that. Um, anyway, so I'm excited that my mom and my stepdad are here, and I just hope that they love it and they find their community, they find their friends, their people, that it's beautiful here, and I just hope they love it, and I'm happy for them. They're both retired now, and, it's gonna be a good season for them, so I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. I love that. So fun.
Yeah. Do you think your
Getting
parents would ever leave Texas?
no, I don't think so. Everybody's there. I'm the only one who left.
Mhm.
I don't I mean, I think my mom would love to move to a beach,
Oh,
but
like Florida?
my dad would hate that. Oh, yeah, my mom would absolutely move to Florida if that was on the table, but I don't think so because her parents are still here, thankfully, and they're not going anywhere, and my brother and sister-in-law are there, my sister everybody's there, so
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
see
yeah.
it happening.
Yeah.
So and
But
that's fine.
Chattanooga's is where your dad's from, right?
Correct. Yes. But there's not much family left there, so
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my mom would not wanna live there. And let's be for real, she's the one in charge, so
Yeah. Ah,
my dad will go
funny.
wherever she says. So
Oh, Coach Roach. He
yeah,
knows how to play the game.
exactly. He does.
Do
He sure
you have
does.
a gratitude?
I do. speaking if we're gonna stay on theme, and I know we've talked about it a lot, it's like beating a dead horse, but whatever, it is official, folks. I got the lease this morning on the apartment that I stress applied for in the DFW airport. It
That I
was
stress
funny.
applied for.
I did. It was funny because I was like, "Oh, I the last time I moved, I was also in Dallas, and now I'm making" it's just funny being in the Dallas airport where I'm from and applying for my second new life, I guess.
Mhm.
But I
Wait,
did, I
are you
got
also in your sunset years? Hold on.
Yes. Yes, we're coming to a close. Just kidding. Yes, so I did stress apply. Here's the thing, it wasn't a stress of, like, I'm making a mistake, it was a stress of, like, I am making a big life decision here, and it's happening, it's finally happening. This is something that I have been praying about and thinking about and talking about for a year now, and it's here. It happened fast, and
Fast.
I can't believe it. So I did. I literally finished the application in the seat on the plane. Alex is next to me, and I'm like, "Did it go through? Did it can you see that? Like, does this look correct to you?" And he's like, "I need you to calm down." He was like, "Please,
Mhm.
can you sit somewhere else?" Um, but I was, parts of my application were, like, approved immediately, like my credit check, not to brag, but the rest of the approval came in yesterday, and then today I got sent the lease, and it came in right before we started, so I haven't signed it yet, because I
This is your first
do
time signing a lease, right?
I technically signed a lease for this apartment that I'm in, I just never really applied for this apartment. I came
Oh,
in
applied up, that's what it was.
Yes, I came in and I the girl who had lived here originally, her roommate had left and just didn't ever come back. Like, she goes, "I'm going home," and then just never returned,
Wow.
left all of her furniture,
No way.
sent a text, and was just like, "I'm not coming back, bye." And
Oh.
they still had 3 months left on the lease,
Mm.
and so she just wanted
Wild.
somebody to come in and was like, can anybody just come be a roommate for 3 months?" And my living situation prior to that was somewhat stable. I was renting this room in this lady's house. So, really good.
That's for another episode,
Also
that'll take
didn't
a whole
apply to
episode,
that.
and it's hilarious.
And one day she just said, "You gotta go," and I said, "Alright," and s b timing aligned to where this girl was like, "I my girl just randomly left and I need someone," and I said, "Hey," and I showed up with all my stuff in my car and just walked in and was like, "Cool, looks good." And so, at the
And did
end
you
of
just adopt the other girl's stuff, like her furniture and
I did use her bed for a hot minute because I didn't have a bed, but
Yeah.
I got rid of a lot we got rid of it within that first couple weeks, and then I, like, sold it and kept the cash
Yeah.
'cause I was like, "What else am I supposed to do?" And technically, she abandoned it.
Yeah.
So,
Yours.
yeah, so then when that lease was up, she the other girl was moving in to the West Side with somebody else, so I talked to the landlord and I was like, "Can I have it? Like, I'm already here, I would love to just stay here." And she said, "You can accept the unit as is, meaning we won't come in and clean or do any remodel, but it keeps the rent the same." She goes, "Or you can move out for 2 weeks, we'll remodel it and the rent goes up." And I said, "Nah, girl, this works for me. I'll take
This
as
works for
is."
me. I don't need your, lipstick on a pig, paint walls,
Exactly.
and,
Exactly.
like, maybe new carpet, maybe. No, thank you.
Maybe. No, thanks. So, I and my aunt had worked with a former Miss Louisiana who was moving to LA and needed some place ASAP, and I said, "I've got a place, get on in here, girl." And then that was in 2016,
Look
and
at that.
I've been here ever since. So I
How many
did,
roommates did you go through after it became yours?
um, 3, and then unless you count the original girl, 4.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
And if we're not counting original girl, the 1st and 2nd roommates both moved out to get married, and when the 3rd one moved in, I said, "Me next."
Yeah. If
I was like
you get
I was
engaged.
like, "I swear." But no,
Well,
she
you know what? Let's switch rooms. Something about that room is
exactly. I'm in the wrong room. I'm
yeah.
in the wrong one. Uh, No, she ended up moving out because she wanted to live closer to the West Side. That was it. It
Eh,
it was I never had any issues. There was never my second roommate was my longest one at 3 years. So, uh, yeah, marriage and then, Burbank's kinda far. It's in the corner, so
I haven't had too
fine.
many roommates. I mean, I moved out to chase my dreams in Hollywood, and I rented a room at my cousin Joe's house.
Mhm.
So he was my roommate. We still call each other roomie. Like, that's our nickname for each other. Um, then I moved. Oh, yeah, I guess I did. I'm forgetting a few different apartments I lived in. Yeah, never mind. I take that back. I've had a lot of roommates.
I know when my last one moved out, I thankfully was in a position where I didn't need to replace her and haven't. And now I'm so used to not having one that I'm like, "Ugh, I don't know what
I'll
I
tell
want."
you, one time I manifested this apartment. Jesus gave it to me. I was living in LA. I had lived with Joe, my cousin. It was my first apartment in LA, and I had to move out. He was getting married, and his fiance came home one day with a newspaper, and she had circled apartments that were available. I was like, "Hey, just in case you're interested." And that's when I knew. I was like, "Oh, they're asking me to move."
Look at this
I
great
still make fun of him about that too.
place.
Um, because they ended up getting divorced, and I was like, "Look, you picked the wrong one. I You should have picked me to live there and kick her
Thank
out, but instead you kicked me out." Um, so then I had to move out, and I was working at this bar at the time. It was like a billiards bar, and I was starting to miss home. I was missing my family, and I was like, "I wanna rent a room from a family, like, just so I can be around, like, family and family aspect." I was like, "I wanna rent a room from a family." And I only wanna pay $300. Wild.
That's
$300.
crazy. That's
I know.
crazy.
I wrote it down in my journal, and I was like, "I only wanna pay $300, and I wanna live with a family."
Okay.
I
Alright.
wrote it in my journal, said it in my prayers, went about my business. I'm at my work, and one of the bartenders there, her name is Kay Howe, she's, Hawaiian, and, she was telling me that she had a available room at her house. And she was like, "Well, maybe you could just come and live there at my house." And I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "Let me talk to my parents about it." And then she did, and then they let me rent the room at their house for $300. So I lived at their house for
Wow.
$300, and I got to be around her mom and dad. I remember one day I was fasting, and, I'm going to get in my car, and I had, like, to run around, do meetings and stuff, and her mom comes running out with, like a protein shake, and she was like, "Here, I don't want you passing out while you're driving," because she knew I was fasting, and I was like, "See, this is what I'm talking about, like, being surrounded by, like, a mom and, like,
Why?
the family aspect." And I lived with them for a good minute. I think I definitely overstayed my welcome there for sure. They had to be like, "Hey, thank
Have
you
you
so
seen the newspaper?
much." Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
I manifested that apartment, to the T. Oh,
I
and I said where I wanted it too. It was in Burbank. It was right by where you live now.
Oh,
It's not
okay,
too far from
cool.
there, right where the, what is it, DreamWorks Studios, not too far from there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I love that because I this whole move has just been very bittersweet for me, and
Mhm.
this, apartment, I think I mentioned how my mom I think I talked about this on the last podcast where my mom was like, "This will be the last time I ever in this apartment."
Oh, yeah, she got
And
emotional about your apartment?
yes, and but I'm also been getting emotional about it because I also think back when I had this apartment and one of my roommates was moving out, and it was during the time where I could not afford this by myself, and I couldn't afford anywhere. There was nothing in my price range, and I was really freaking out, and I remember I stood on my balcony, which is my favorite part of this apartment, and I stared up into the sky, and I just prayed. I said, "Lord, please let me keep this apartment. Like, I love this apartment so much. Please, please, please." I was like, "I This is all I want is for you to let me keep this apartment and to send me somebody to live here and cover half this rent because I can't pay for this, but I don't wanna move." I didn't even know where to move. I was like, this can't be it. This can't be why I have to move back to Texas, like, please. And I think the solution came, like, the next day. And I look around this apartment so often, and I think of all the memories here, and I think of everything that I prayed for and everything that I dreamed about in this place, and so it does kinda make me emotional, even
Yeah,
though I'm, like, so excited for this new step, and
of
I've
course.
already been, like, mentally right, like I said, the furniture and planning what I'm gonna keep and what I'm gonna get rid of and how I'm gonna redesign the new place, and there's even things in this apartment that are starting to fall apart, and I'm like, "Of course, it's a sign. I gotta get out of here. There's no more baseboards," or whatever. And they did it. The piece fell off, and I'm just leaving it. I'm like, "Whatever." But it's yeah, I think it's so cool to have a physical piece of evidence of God's provision,
Mm,
and I just think that's so I'm so blessed to have that in my life,
um,
and yeah, it's just like a really bitter sweet, because even bringing back when you were talking about the tour, like, it's all bittersweet, like, what a it was like we were at camp, and now
mhm.
camp is over and we all have to go back home. I don't know, it's just kind of like a weird limbo-y weird time that we're in, but it's also so full of so many blessings
Yeah.
for both of us.
I think I felt more emo about the end of tour when it was the end of the bus, when I knew we weren't getting
Yes.
back on the
I
bus.
wanted to ask you about that too.
Yeah. This felt more like, it's the end, but I don't know, when we said goodbye to the bus, that felt more like "Oh, we're wrapping it up. We only have a
Yes.
couple months left, and they're just flyaway dates." Like,
Mm.
our bus where you're like, "We're in it with each other. We're in the same space. We're taking showers in random venues. We're" you know what I mean? Waking up together with our wake up faces, our morning faces, and our stinky breath,
Yeah.
and we're just living life in a different city across the country every day. When we said goodbye to the bus and goodbye to Eva, our bus driver, who we love,
Love her so much.
that felt more like "Oh, it's ending, camp's
Mhm.
over." I was a little bit emo about that,
Yeah,
for sure.
'cause I wanted to ask you, um, about that because I remember your friend who was on the podcast from Johnny Swim, I'm blanking Amanda.
Amanda.
Amanda, whenever she was on, she talked about, touring and mental health, which is a book. I have it, I bought it, and I read the contents page, and I'll get to the rest of it eventually. But one of the things that she brought up, and I had never heard somebody talk about it this way before, and I just thought, "Oh, yes, that makes so much sense," is you sort of kind of go into a seasonal depression a little bit
Mm,
after it. At least that's how I felt, and I wanted to know if you had ever felt that way in the sense that we get off the bus, right? We've been doing this, we've had these goals and this schedule and these places to be, and then you get home and you're kind of like, "Well, now what? I just sit here? Like,
mhm,
and then especially for me with the tour ending, I'm like, I don't have any more hotels to book. I don't have any more advances. Like, what do I do with these leftover badges? I just throw them away, I guess? Like,
uh-huh,
it just feels
uh,
kind of like I'm so I'm so proud of everything that you and the team has accomplished this past year. Like, it was so amazing. And then to just like go away for a weekend and then come back home and you're just done. I'm like, okay.
hello?
Hello? Like,
Yeah.
what do I do now?"
Yeah.
It just there is this sort of, like, dip in emotions, like, you're on this high, and you're going, and you're going, and you're doing these cool things, and you're making people laugh, and you're just like, "Look at us." And then now I'm just on my couch going through all the Marvel movies again because why
Mhm.
not? So, I
Yeah. I
it's just
feel
sort of
it.
this weird dip. I mean, I
I
know
feel the
I'll get
dip.
out of it.
Yeah. It's, well, they say it's like with weddings too, like if you're planning your wedding for a very long time, then the wedding day comes and it's the best day of your life, and then the next day it's almost like a little bit of depression because it's like the thing you've been planning for and looking forward, now it's done. Whether it's that's your wedding or your recital or your like something that you're looking forward to and then it's done, there is definitely a dip of emotion, even adrenaline, a dip of adrenaline,
Definitely that.
cortisol, all the stuff happening in your body. So I definitely feel it. I think for me, though, it's different now, like with Rosie, like
Sure.
I'm already in the brain of like all the fun things that I'm gonna do with Rosie. So I didn't feel the dip as much. And even coming off the bus,
Mhm.
that dip lasted like real quick because now I'm like, well, my taping,
Mhm.
3
Oh,
weeks,
sure,
let's
yeah.
go, taping. So then it went into taping mode
Mhm.
and directing it for the first time. Then I'm in director mode. Um, so my dip didn't last very long this time around. But and
Yeah,
then
I
you're gonna be moving, so you're
that's
gonna
how I
jump out
feel.
of it.
That's exactly how I feel. I was like, I still felt the dip. Like, I think I'm already on my way out of it. I think it was just the beginning of this week of just very, like, it didn't hit me, like, when we were in the moment and then the final show, and I know I kept saying, I was like, "This is my last one, and this is the last one," whatever.
Mhm.
It was it felt very like, "We did it." Like,
Mhm.
accomplished, we did it. It wasn't sad yet, and
Yeah.
then I get home and I come into my apartment and I just behind this listen, this is hiding my open suitcase that I still haven't unpacked, and just being like, "Oh, okay, now what?" Like, it just felt
Yeah.
very weird, but also yeah. "Oh, okay, I'm approved my apartment. Oh, okay, I'm moving on this date. Oh, right, okay, well, I need to go see my friends on this, and we're gonna have this, and we're gonna plan this," and so, yeah, I'm already, like, moving into all these
Yeah.
next big things and just trying to at this point, I'm just trying to see my friends as often as possible, and I'm just inviting myself over to their house at this
Yeah.
point. I'm like, "What are you doing? I'll be there. What time do you get home? 6:30? Alright, I'll be there at
"Hey, are you home?
6:45.
I'm outside."
Hey, hello? Oh, you had work today? Weird. Okay.
"Hey, I'm at your work."
Hey, hi. Let me in. I'm at the gate. They're saying my name's not on the list. That seems weird.
So weird.
So
They
bizarre.
said I don't have a parking here, it's weird. I don't know
So,
why.
yeah, if you could just rectify that for me, thank you so much. But, yeah, so I'm definitely out of the dip, but it's just I feel like it's such a hard thing to try to explain to somebody in
Yeah.
trying to, um, because everyone's just like, "How do you feel?" And I'm like, "Weird."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
and I
All
just
of
wanted
it.
to know if you
Mhm.
felt that way, but I was curious if it was different because of having Rosie, and she's kind of like, "Hey, mom, we don't have time for that. So if you could
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
make me
yeah.
lunch, thank you so much."
Yeah, and like I said, I'm still moving and grooving, like, I still have a flight
Oh,
tomorrow,
absolutely.
you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
it's like, it's over, but it's not.
and I
I'm
still have to
still
finish the travel itinerary and send that to you. So
yeah.
there's still
Sure.
work to be done. It's just
Yep.
not as intense, I guess, is what I would say. It's just
Yeah,
not as intense as it was before, and all the work too of, like, even the year before tour of just everything going on leading up to tour as well was a
yeah,
lot. So this is sort of a yes, there's still things going on, but it is at a somewhat slower pace.
for sure. For sure. Do we have any voicemails or anything for today?
Yes, so I actually was looking at I went into the danger zone, which is YouTube
Uh-oh.
comments,
Oh,
and
no.
but there was one, there was a few that I thought, on past episodes that I thought was kind of interesting, and so I wanted
Let's hear
to
it. Let's read it.
so in our last episode that was just you and me,
Okay.
we had talked about tattoos, and so
Uh-huh.
and you were like, "I really want a tattoo with my sister, but I don't know what to get."
Yep. Did
And
somebody give me a good one? A good advice?
somebody gave
Good
you
pitch?
a pitch, and I would love to read it. So, Jennifer Law 387 said, "For Sisty's tattoos, you can get a hummingbird, and your sister can get something of Rosie the Riveter that honors your Tia Mary, Rosie, and those are both passions of yours. Just an idea.
That's
Love your advice."
true. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
see
you
where you
do
went
have
there.
passions. See? I think that's so
My
fun.
family is my passion. That's it.
I think that works. I think
Yeah.
that's okay.
Okay.
But I thought it was cute. I thought that was a cute
That is cute.
little something something. I like the idea of you getting something that she loves.
Uh-huh.
She gets something
Yeah.
that you love.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. this just coming in, breaking news, hold on.
Mhm, mhm.
So, if I did a hummingbird and she did, let's say, a rose for Rosie the river or
Riveter.
whatever, and then a hummingbird would come to the rose, right? Right? Maybe there's some sort of the way the design
Ooh,
is on her and on me that if we were standing next to each other, it looks like the
yes.
hummingbird is coming
I l
to get the nectar
and
and
that's
stuff
the
and, like,
and
we're
I've
connected.
yes, and I've seen that. I've seen tattoos where it's like, "Oh,"
Cute.
I've seen the ones have you seen the ones where if you, like, hug them and
Oh,
your
yeah.
arms align in a certain
Yeah,
way?
yeah.
I really I do hummingbirds go to roses?
I don't know.
I know they like red, but it's kind of I think that's a fun idea.
A cute idea.
That's
I've been seeing the
cute.
ones where, like, they're on fingers, like, if I did, like, the hummingbird on my finger and then she did the rose, whatever, and then it's like you put them together and they do
Mhm.
something. Yeah, I don't know. But
I
anyways,
could
that's an
see you
idea.
I could see you doing the finger tattoo simply because it's tiny.
Yeah.
Like, I don't you're not a tattoo person, but I feel like if you do get one, it would be small and you could hide it.
Yep, totally, 100%. I've been seeing the one too where they have the kids hold hands with the mom, and then the mom will get, like,
Yes.
a little heart where all the fingerprints are, and, like, in theory, great idea, but now it kinda just looks like you have weird spots in your hands, and I'm like,
True.
I don't know that I like that.
I do have a friend who got a tattoo on her shoulder, and it's of, like, stars and a little crescent moon, but she did it in the same color as her freckles. So it almost looks like she has a star and
Adorable.
moon freckles. It is the coolest, and she's got a lot, so, like,
Oh, yeah,
you
I
don't
love that.
notice it at first. It is very cool.
It's almost like you're looking up into the sky and the stars, and you're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, look, there's the Little Dipper."
You're like, "Give me your arm, give me your shoulder." I see it,
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah, or
Then
where
there's
you,
the
like,
Artemis.
stare off into, like, the maze of it with your eyes, and then you see it, you go, "Oh, yep, there it is."
Yes. I have another comment, and this is a
Okay,
sidebar real quick, and I just wanna acknowledge, speaking of stars, I
okay.
just wanna throw out our NASA trip
Oh,
from last year,
uh-huh.
and I wanna flex on everyone about how we got to go into the training module of the Orion spaceship that the Artemis II crew just flew around the moon.
I forgot we even did that, first of all, until you posted those pictures, and I was like, "Oh, yeah," and then we did our own meet and greet with the cardboard
Cut
cutouts
out.
of the
Yes.
crew, totally forgot that was even them.
Yep. I so did I. So did I. Whenever they were posting all of it and they were saying Artemis and Orion, I was like, "Man, that sounds familiar." I was like, "Why do I already know those names?" I was like, "This I'm getting tinglings. I'm getting tinglings of something." And I looked up our NASA photos and I was like, "Oh my god, we were there."
It didn't even ring a bell for me. Even seeing their faces, I was like, "I've never seen these people in my life." And then here I am posing a picture with them. Stupid.
Anyway,
Anyway,
thanks NASA for giving us that tour.
yeah, we got a nice little tour. It was so
Yeah.
fun. Had a great time.
There's a video of it. Watch the video.
Yeah, you can watch the video on YouTube
Mhm.
when we went to the NASA studio. Okay.
Yes. There was one other comment on the same video, which a lot of people were commenting about, "Hey, I'm a night owl at 71,"
Oh my
which is
god, I
really
saw those comments and I was like,
yes.
"Did I get this one wrong?"
It was a mixed bag. It was a mix uh, and I think that's great. I think that's great that they're and hope for me, I think personally,
Yeah, I
as
was
a night
saying
owl.
that I think once you get to a certain age, it's hard to sleep in. Like, I don't know anybody past
Mm,
their 60s that sleeps in to 10 AM. And then there was lots of people in the comments being
yeah.
like, "My mom wakes up at 2 PM every day." And I'm like, "Oh, what?"
I I also there was someone that commented and it was like and they said, "Well, it's just been years of having to wake up this early for work." So I do think that has to be a factor for
Mm,
sure because
yeah.
I said my parents wake up at 5 AM. Well, they're teachers. Their
Yeah.
entire career they've had to wake up at that time. So I can't imagine, after 40 years, 40, 50 years of a routine,
Yeah.
that's gotta be hard to break,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Has to be.
So so there was comments
Amazing.
yeah, there was comments, and then the final comment that I wanted to bring up, it was an interesting comment to me, and I wanted to read it to you because I wanted to know if you knew of any of these places.
Okay.
So, someone commented, "Raspberry tart." 161 I6 I don't know, somebody named Raspberry Tart commented, said, "Danielle, here are 10 reasons to stay." Right? Because I
In
guess that's
LA?
like in LA, because I've always
Okay.
been talking and I think they mean
Uh-huh.
Burbank specifically,
Okay.
and I am not saying this to make fun of this person, that is not what I'm doing. I am saying these to show you that you could live somewhere in the same place as someone else for 10 years and never experience what they experience, because I
Mhm.
thought this list was fascinating. So, number 10, massis or massis kebab, never heard of it,
Yeah, I've heard of it. Uh-huh.
never heard of it. 9, Karina's Cake House, never heard of
Nope.
it. 8, Super King, don't even know what that is.
Super
Is it a
King?
is it a is it a gas station?
No.
I have no idea. Number 7, Coffee Everywhere. Now, I would like to argue that sure, but it's all like Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks. Not a lot of
Mhm.
I'm like, "Alright, but I make coffee at home."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Number 6, Donut Hut, 24 hours open.
Nah.
Again, never heard of it. I'm like, "Where are these places?" Number 5, Ben& Jerry's. Sir. Which I then thought, "Is there a Ben& Jerry's in" Oh, there is! In downtown Burbank, there's an actual Ben& Jerry's store.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, don't need it. Number 4, city parks all through La Cañada, Montrose, and Crescenta Valley.
Okay.
Never been. Have you been to any? I don't even know where those places
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Glendale Galleria. Now, you got me there a little bit because I do love the Glendale Galleria. That
Me
is my
too.
favorite mall out here.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But it does kinda remind me of Green Hills Mall. Kinda same vibes, no? Okay. Number 2, Pasadena. Cute, but also kinda the same, wherever, right? And then here was the one, and I thought, "This is what you shoulda led with, alright?"
Uh-huh.
Because I think about this all the time. Number 1, Disneyland.
There it is. There it is.
I was like, "I
And
you
that
lost
was
me,"
your almost reason to stay.
and that really was, because I did get really sad. My pass expires mid-May, and I'm letting it expire, and I thought, just I was like, "It expires before my dad gets here. We can't even get one more day with my dad."
Oh, hilarious.
But I thought it was funny and very interesting, and I just love I'm like, "Wow, I was here for a whole decade, and I didn't know any of those things," and now I feel inclined to go look up those things and be like,
Yeah,
"Wow,
yeah, yeah.
yep."
The, kebab place, I know of the kebab place.
Yeah,
Ben& Jerry's, I mean, you could go to Kroger and get some Ben&
I
Jerry's, it's
know.
fine. But
But fat
thank
oh,
you, everybody,
fascinating
for
thing.
commenting on
Mhm.
our videos and sharing your thoughts with us and stuff, and I agree, Pasadena is a great city. I
That's
love Pasadena.
my favorite hot pot place is over there.
Oh, nice.
I do love a hot pot.
But yeah, so leave us a comment on YouTube or on our videos on TikTok and Instagram, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. Oh,
Tell everybody.
and you can comment on Spotify too.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Spotify. You can leave comments on Spotify now, so leave us a
Mhm.
comment there, and, we'll read some comments from there on the next episode. So, thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of Funjelah, and we'll see you next time.